back to the One Chains Gaming YouTube channel. We are back. We are going to be doing a couple of different builds here really quick. If you guys like the build videos, obviously make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And I will try and bring out more as I kind of think of different player comparisons. I still got a couple more lined up for right now, but the next type of builds I wanted to get into were the lock builds that I was thinking of. The first one I'm thinking of here, we're going to do Scottie Pippen. Just for you guys that like to play more of a Pro-Am setting and tend to kind of want to be out there a little bit more for, as far as switchability and things like that. For this, obviously, this is just kind of like a base setup of what I recommend, and then you guys can kind of tweak it from there based on your own preferences. Handedness, obviously, again, does not matter. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the build. So the first thing we're going to do is this build is actually going to be 6'7". I know it's technically shorter than Scottie, but it just gives it slightly better animations and everything like that. And then we're going to go minimum weight because obviously we want that maximum speed. And then we are actually going to go 7'4" because you are a lockdown. Scottie kind of early on in his career was a little bit more slender, so we're going to go with actually just that solid body type. And then for close shot here, we're going to be looking at a 40. And I'll kind of do a breakdown once we get everything put in here. But 72 for the driving layup. Again, you really only need 70 just because you want that long athlete animation. Anything after that is just because it's tied into this right here of the driving dunk. And obviously since those are tied together, you have to have 72 instead of just that 70, unfortunately. And then that's all we're going to do for the finishing there. And then for the midi, we're going to go up to 70 here. For the three-pointer, we're actually going to go ahead and max that out. And then your free throw is actually going to be an 80. Again, if you're not going to be playing like Pro-Am and Rec and things like that, obviously don't worry about the free throw. But I just put that on there for I would normally be playing on this build. I'd be playing more of Rec, Pro-Am, things like that. And then for pass accuracy, we're actually only going to go with 70. Just because I don't feel like playmaking is necessarily as big of a deal this year. And also you'll still get your silver bullet passer, bronze dimer, your bailout, things like that. And then for ball handling, we're going to go 80, so you'll still get those pro dribble moves, and you'll still get different badges as far as tight handles and things like that, and unpluckable that you will need in order to be successful in this build. And then we're actually only going to go 73 here. The reason for that is because with this build, you can't get gold quick first step, no matter how we have it set up. So instead of wasting a couple extra speed with ball, go ahead and just put it on 73 just so you have that on there. And then this is where this build really comes in handy. You're actually going to go ahead and max out the interior, the perimeter, the steal, the block here, and then we're going to go with a 59 offensive rebound. You see that's bringing up our defensive rebound as well. Defensive rebound is actually going to go all the way up to an 89. So again, for this build, it'll have a little bit of switchability, and you're going to have those 29 defensive badges, so you can play the 3, you can play the 4. Probably could even get away with like a Park 5, things like that. And then for this, you're actually going to go ahead and max that speed. We're going to max the acceleration. Our strength is going to go up to a 42. This is going to go up to 80. Again, that is for the contact dunk thresholds. It's not necessarily that you need the vertical or anything. It's just because you're going to need it for those contact dunk thresholds. And then for here, just because it's what's left, you're going to go with 91. So the total badge spread on this is going to be 15, 19, 20, and 29. Again, you're primarily going to be probably more of a corner guy. Probably you can play a little bit more hash on Park, just because you don't need that high of a 3-ball to shoot this year. I wouldn't necessarily rely on it as a consistent hash shooter. I also wouldn't necessarily say that this is a build that should be initiating the offense, but you'll be able to still slash, be able to shoot off the catch. In different situations, you can play up, you can play down. It allows for a lot of versatility, just like a Scottie Pippen build should, and it still allows you that playmaking that Scottie had. Now for the takeovers, just because it's Scottie, the only options you get are slasher and lock. I'm actually kind of surprised. I figured you'd get a little bit more, probably like a playmaking in there, or maybe even rebounding. But I'm going to go extreme clamps, and then we will go finishing moves. I feel like that just makes the most sense for a Scottie Pippen build. Obviously, you can change those to whatever you want them to be, but the official name for this is going to be a perimeter lock. Again, not quite sure why, because you almost have that 70 interior defense, and you do have that switchability, but as the builder itself says, shades of Scottie Pippen. So I mean, it may not be exactly Scottie Pippen, but I mean, this I feel like this is a pretty close build for you guys, and it will definitely be able to have that switchability and everything that Scottie Pippen offered. But yeah, that is going to be this build, guys. I will catch you all in the next one. Appreciate you coming through. Peace.